I suffered with postnatal depression.
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 They call it the smiling depression. Most people I knew didn't know what I was going through at all. I just used to put the face on every day.
It was like I did a complete personality U-turn. I became introverted, frightened, scared of the tiniest things. It was a really, really scary place to be.
I would get up and out of the house, morning, afternoon and evening, anything so that I wasn't alone with my baby.
I was really panicky. I'd wake up in the middle of the night having panic attacks seemingly from nowhere. And probably the most frightening experience for me was a disconnection with my baby and a sense of not being able to get through it.
Sometimes I would have moments of extreme sadness, deep, deep sadness, and I would cry and cry. And then feel so guilty for feeling the way I felt because I wanted to turn back time, because I just couldn't cope with all the feelings and the sadness that would hit me.
I felt like I wanted to get in the car and just disappear. I don't know where I would go or what I would do, but I just wanted to disappear into a new life, or even back to before I had my baby.
Postnatal depression is an illness, and like any illness is treatable. But because everyone reacts differently, it can be difficult to diagnose. Many people assume it's due to the changes in hormone levels that occur after birth. This is one possible cause, but it's not the only one. It can also be down to the general stress and physical trauma of giving birth, and the massive life changes that come with looking after a baby 24/7. It can also be caused by concerns about money, a relationship, or the difference between the expectations and reality of being a parent. Basically, anything.
The strange thing about postnatal depression is that however bad you feel, you don't know why it is.
And yet thousands of women who've given birth will develop symptoms of the illness within weeks or months of the birth.
People will tell you that it's the baby blues, but it's more than that.
You know you should be happy, and yet you can feel low, tired,
Disconnected, irritated,
On edge, overwhelmed, really panicky.
It affects everyone differently.
After a few months, I was expecting to feel better.
but I wasn't.
The problem is there is no such thing as typical symptoms.
I found that people closest to me weren't able to take the feelings away.
I knew they were concerned.
And they tried so hard to cheer me up and understand what I was going through.
But I just couldn't explain.
To be honest, there wasn't really any effective support network in place.
In the end, it was a combination of things that got me through.
The first step is to discuss it with your health visitor, but you should also see your doctor as soon as possible. Postnatal depression is no different to any other form of depression. It affects different people in different ways and may require a course of treatment. For most people, it will only be for a limited period of time and will help you get back on your feet.
The first doctor I saw didn't really understand what I was going through.
But another doctor did.
Sadly, not all medical professionals are equipped or experienced enough to deal with postnatal depression.
So don't be fobbed off with a sympathetic, you just need some sleep.
Or worse still, now you've got some makeup on, you look like you're doing well.
I hadn't realised how much pressure I was putting on myself.
I went to a support group and asked what I thought were a load of stupid questions.
Other mums came in after me and asked the same questions.
And I realised I wasn't alone.
Once I was diagnosed with postnatal depression,
I started to be more honest about how I felt about everything.
From how I felt about my baby to how I felt about myself.
The big thing is to not bottle it up.
I found it difficult to share my feelings with my family.
I didn't want to upset them or even scare them.
Nothing I thought or felt seemed to make any sense.
There are support groups where you can talk openly with people who understand what you are going through.
And where you are able to share your experiences with others.
We wanted to create an environment where mums and dads could bring their babies and toddlers,
Relax, chat, offload.
Just find something to smile about.
Meet new people or even cry. Yeah, there's been plenty of crying.
Somewhere mums can relax and not feel judged in any way.
It's amazing the effect it can have when you know you're not alone.
Mums and dads can come as often or as little as they want.
It's entirely up to them.
We can also advise on self-help therapy,
Whether it's learning to deal with negative thoughts, feelings and body sensations,
Or discovering ways to relax.
It's somewhere to enjoy some precious me time.
and where parents can take part in complementary therapy taster sessions.
The main thing is helping mums to smile again.
And to discover the joy of motherhood.
And no matter how hard things get,
There's always a light at the end of the tunnel.